What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Sunday, May 18th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and the one NBA playoff game, that Game 7 between the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. It's looking like yesterday is going to be a pretty solid one, guys. We're off to a great start right out of the gates. We had the Cardinals plus 110. They come with a 1-0 win. Michaelis was lights out in that game. Jordan Walker's solo home run ended up being the only offense that the Cardinals needed in that game. We had the Reds at plus 108. That was a 4-1 win. The bullpen start worked out great there for Cincinnati, and they came with some offense, so another win there. Running this to 3 straight, guys, we had the Rangers at minus 140. That was a 5-1 win. Mayhill was great and finally got some run support, some well-deserved run support. Now, the Arizona Diamondbacks kind of trying to mess stuff up for us. We had a minus 1.5. It's been an insane game. They're currently down 13-11 in the bottom of the 8th inning, so they've really let go of the rope there. That's been crazy. But we hit both our dog of the day and our lock of the day. We had the Nationals at plus 135 as our dog of the day. That was a 10-6 win. Irving was great, and a 6-run first inning really helped. We also had the Phillies at minus 290 as our massive lock of the day. It was a 5-2 win. Wheeler was lights out in that game, so very helpful stuff there. Guaranteed at least 5-1 on the day. If the Arizona Diamondbacks can make a comeback here, maybe we could have a perfect 6-0 day. So very good stuff there, guys. Let's go ahead and dive in and look at what we're going to see here on what could possibly be a very crazy Sunday, because as you guys remember, Sundays are pretty wild. So we're going to be keeping that in mind. Sundays are crazy. So first up, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Astros come to this game fresh off of that 5-1 loss yesterday. So once again, guys, slam that like button if you enjoyed cashing that Rangers win. That was a nice one. Now, the Astros 23-22 on the year, handing the ball to Framber Valdez, who's 2-4 this season, a 3.54 ERA. He's fresh off a couple very good starts, shutting down the Milwaukee Brewers, giving up 1 run over 7 innings, and then shutting down the Royals, giving up 1 run over 8 innings. So he went pretty deep into that game. A little bit concerning. Somebody that has gone 8 innings before, but you'll notice after he went 8 innings there at the Royals in a very solid start, he then struggled against the White Sox, giving up 7 hits and 4 earned runs over only 5 innings of work. So definitely something to keep in mind here for Valdez. I'm a little bit worried how he's going to look after that extended start. The Astros bullpen's been very good this year. I'm not worried about them. A 2.74 bullpen ERA is obviously excellent. The offense for the Astros this year has been very all over the place. Obviously, they're coming off a game they scored 1 run. They've actually scored 1, 6, and 0 runs over the first 3 games of this series. So not exactly lighting the world on fire. They're 19th in the majors in runs scored. They are 13th in the majors in batting average, 23rd in slugging percentage. Like, just not an elite offensive team, at least at this point in the season. But we're getting a little bit too deep in the year to be really given those kind of caveats like, oh, maybe they'll be good later. So we'll see what happens, but not looking at the Astros as a good offensive team. They're taking on the Rangers, who are 25-22 on the year now. They're having quite the nice run. A very good series against Detroit, swept the Rockies, and then have already won 2 out of 3 so far in this series against the Astros. So a lot of positives right now. They're hitting the ball to Jack Leiter, who's been a positive and a negative at different points this year. The young 25-year-old is 3-2 this season, a 4.34 ERA. He's fresh off an excellent start, albeit against the Rockies, but still, you got to give that guy credit for a nice little bounce back. 6 innings, 2 hits, only a single earned run allowed. He struck out 5 and walked 3. Now he's got to go up against the Astros, obviously a little bit tougher of competition than the Rockies, but not drastically tougher. So we'll see what he can get up to in this game. The Rangers bullpen has been pretty reasonable this season, but not great. Obviously good in this series. 3.90 bullpen ERA over the course of the year, though, does leave me a little bit worried. The offense for this team has been coming alive lately. It hasn't been great this season. They're still only 26 in the majors in runs scored, but they've scored 5, 3, 1, 8, 4, 2, and 6 runs over their last few games. Better numbers than we've seen in general from them, early on. So we'll see what we get from them at the plate. Looking at the numbers in this game, the Astros are minus 142. The Rangers are plus 120. We've got a total of 8.5. Houston only 8-12 on the road. They're 9-2 to the over/under on the road. The Rangers 15-9 at home, 19-6 to the under at home. That's an MLB best to the under at home, but I'm not too interested in the under. I will, however, take a look, despite it being a crazy Sunday, guys. We're actually going to go with what I think. In some picks today, we're going to go the opposite of what I think because it's Sunday, and that's the way Sundays tend to go. But right now, I think the Rangers at plus 120 is a very reasonable play. I think Leiter can have a decent outing. Framber Valdez coming off of a long start. I think we're going to see him struggle a little bit, give up a few runs. That could be all the Rangers need. They're a very, very good pitching staff. Leiter, though, is a bit of a question mark. So looking at the Rangers here at plus 120 as a potential dog of the day. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road here to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Braves come into this game fresh off a 7-6 loss there in Game 2 of this series. That ninth inning home run, a little bit rough there, but the Braves are going to be hitting the ball in this one to Spencer Schwellenbach, who's 2-3 on the year, a 3.31 ERA. He's done some very good stuff this year. His last couple of starts have been excellent. They were against the Reds and the Washington Nationals, so let's not freak out too much, but we've seen good stuff from this young guy this season in general. I think there's a chance he could have a good start here against the Red Sox. The Braves bullpen, not as good as last season, a 3.87 bullpen ERA, kind of average. The offense for this team has not been average. It's been significantly below average. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored. They are 18th in both on-base percentage and batting average, but their slugging percentage numbers are way below average, so not an offense that I'm necessarily going to be giving a ton of credit. So we'll see what they can get up to here against the Red Sox, who are fresh off that much-needed win that snapped a 4-game losing streak, and it was a close one. They're going to be hitting the ball in this game to Brian Bello, who's been, I'm pretty sure, their best starter all season long by a significant margin. He's 2-0, a 2.33 ERA. He's fresh off a mediocre start against the Tigers, though. 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them were earned, and he gave a home run in that start. So a little bit concerning, but overall, I think he's going to be fine. Like, this is not, I don't think this is a harbinger of bad things. Like, I think Bello's going to be absolutely fine out there. In this matchup also, that shouldn't be a big problem. Now, the Red Sox bullpen this year, it's been okay. Slightly above average, a 3.67 bullpen ERA is not the end of the world. The offense has been wildly inconsistent. Sometimes it's been amazing, but sometimes it's been terrible. They're 6th in the majors in runs scored and top 10 in both batting average and slugging percentage, so I guess we shouldn't complain too much, but this just isn't an offense that really gets me, super jazzed up, and I think they're, always going to be totally fine. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Braves at -130, the Red Sox at +110. We've got a total of 9 out there. Atlanta's 8-15 on the road, 12-9-2 to the under on the road. Boston 11-10 at home, 11-8-2 to the under at home. I'm not interested in under 9 very much. If you're begging me for a total play, I guess that's the way I would go, is the under. But I think, once again, we got to look at the underdog at home in this game. The Red Sox at +110 with Bello on the mound does not seem crazy to me whatsoever. Maybe the bats are coming alive a little bit here, coming off that 7-run game. Schwellenbach's been good, but not dominant, and that Braves bullpen's nothing to write home about. So the Red Sox here at +110 is looking very live. Jumping in here, guys, with a quick shout out to our sponsor, StumpTheSpread.com. All of our videos are brought to you by Stump the Spread. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 at least years in a row, and it's been off to a great start to this season. Our guy over there has been absolutely killing it. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which usually will not match what I have here in the YouTube video, guys, because I am not the premium capper for MLB over at Stump the Spread. We've got a guy over there with many, many more years of MLB experience and some very sophisticated tools and algorithms. He looks at a crazy amount of information. A ton of work goes into every single premium pick. So definitely consider signing up over there. And most importantly, go over to StumpTheSpread.com and set up a free account. All they need is your name and your email address, and you'll be on our free email newsletter. There'll be free picks straight to your inbox every single day, along with sometimes parlays, often like niche sports betting information like golf, NASCAR, you name it. All kinds of crazy stuff can be on there, and it's very good information. We're keeping track of everything. So definitely consider getting over there and signing up for that. It's free information. It's very easy to sign up, and they don't need a ton of information. And we're not going to spam you with emails, guys. You get 1 email per day. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, click that little join button below the video to sign up for a channel membership. That'll get you early access to all of our videos and get your name up on screen in every video. But more importantly, guys, it gets you eligible for all of our members only giveaways. We're going to be giving away 2 pieces of Stump the Spread merchandise here on May 20th. A hoodie, a t-shirt, whatever you want. Very excited to be doing that. We do that every single month. We're up to enough members that we're going to be doing 2 giveaways a month for the foreseeable future. So definitely hop in there. It's a very cool way to support the channel, and I really appreciate all my channel members. Now, guys, let's go ahead and hop back in. We've got a ton of games to break down here on this Sunday slate, and next up, we've got the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Pirates come into this game 15-31 on the year, so it's been pretty bleak. They were going up against the Phillies yesterday, and the Phillies were our lock of the day. They come through with another win for us, so slam that like button if you enjoyed hitting our lock of the day there on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Pirates looking like they're in pretty bad shape right now. They're going to be hitting the ball to Skeens, hoping he can turn things around for him. He's been good this year, 3-4, a 2.63 ERA. Hasn't looked untouchable, but he's looked pretty good. I mean, his last time out, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run allowed, struck out 6 and walked 3 against the Mets. good job, but unfortunately for him, not enough run support, and we see the Pirates eventually lose that game 4-3. He's doing what he can out there, but man, it is pretty bleak there for the Pirates. The bullpen hasn't been very good either, clearly below average, a 4.42 bullpen ERA, and the offense has been atrocious. They're 29th in the majors in runs scored. They're 27th in batting average. They've scored 2, 4, 4, 1, and 3 runs over their last few games, and that's honestly not that bad considering how bad they've been. So not loving the Pirates right now as they go on the road to take on the Phillies. Now the Phillies, they're 27-18 on the year, coming off that nice win yesterday, but now they're hitting the ball to Mick Abel. He comes into this game 23 years old, making his first start of the year. So it's always a little bit sketchy to be backing somebody, making their first start of the season, but he does have a very solid offense behind him. Now, the problem is the Phillies' bullpen is not very good this year. Bottom, 8 or something like that in the majors. A 4.66 bullpen ERA leaves lots of potential room for improvement. The offense has obviously been excellent, though. I mean, they're 10th in the majors in runs scored, 4th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 337 clip. They are 6th in batting average, batting 258 as a team. This is an excellent offensive squad. We'll see how they do in this one up against Skeens. I think the goal is just get past Skeens and get to take lots of at-bats off that Pirates bullpen. So, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Pirates at -115, the Phillies at -105. We've got a total of 8. The Pirates 6-17 on the road, 14-7-2 to the under on the road. The Phillies 15-8 at home, 13-10 to the over at home. I'm going to be leaning a little bit towards the over in this game. Not that I'm really expecting miracles from the Pirates offensively, but I think they could get to this young guy for a couple runs. And with the Phillies likely to get to that Pirates bullpen for a ton of runs and maybe get a run off of Skeens these days, that's a possibility too. I think getting over 8 is live here. In terms of a side, I can't really justify taking the Pirates even with Skeens on the mound. This isn't a side that I have a ton of faith in here because I don't know what to expect from Mick Abel, but I'm going to lean just slightly towards the Phillies. Rolling right along, we're looking at the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Mega slam that like button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing that plus 135 underdog on the Nationals yesterday. They come with the 10-6 win in Game 2 of this series. Now they're going for 3 straight. They're only 20-27 on the year. Hitting the ball in this game to Michael Soroka, who's 0-2 this season, a 6.43 ERA. He's fresh off of a kind of okay outing there at the Braves. I mean, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Isn't terrible, especially for him, but he's not been great this season. Obviously, that 6.43 ERA doesn't exactly bode well, and this is only his 4th start. We'll see what he can do out there, but I don't have super high hopes, and I have very low hopes for that Washington bullpen. A 6.64 bullpen ERA. Very problematic. The offense has not been amazing. Obviously, they're coming off a game where they scored 10, and they've scored 10 and 4 runs so far in this series, but they're not a good offense, guys. There's just no way around it. They're 16th in runs scored, but 22nd in on-base percentage. Their slugging percentage is .377. That is also 22nd in the majors. Not a lot of scary bats out there. James Woods has done some good stuff. CJ Abrams is doing some good stuff, but I'm not about to freak out about this offense. So we'll see what they can do here against the Orioles. They come into this game 15-29 in the year, firing their manager. Doesn't look like it's having the desired effect. They've lost 5 straight now. They're going to hand the ball in this game to Zach Eflin. He is 3-1 this year, a 3.13 ERA. He's only making his 5th start of the season, but he's been pretty serviceable. Had a great start there against the Diamondbacks, a good start against the Blue Jays to start his year, and his last time out, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the Angels in a 7-3 Orioles win. So they need wins, guys. It's been pretty brutal. They need him to go deep into the game as well because the bullpen pretty bad there for Baltimore. A 4.93 bullpen ERA. While bad, is not nearly as bad as the Washington Nationals is. So we'll see what they can do. See if this offense can get back on track, guys. They're 25th in the majors in runs scored, 25th in batting average. They've scored 6, 3, 0, 6, and 3 runs over their last few. This was a team that was an amazing offensive team last year and has just fallen off a cliff this year. So, looking at the numbers for this one, the Nationals are plus 146. The Orioles are minus 175. We've got a total of 9 or 9.5 out there. Washington, 9-15 on the road. 15-8-1 to the under on the road. Baltimore 8-3 at home, 12-7-2 to the over at home. I think this is a spot to take the Orioles because I think they're going to avoid losing 3 straight here to the Nationals. The Nationals aren't that good. Obviously, Soroka has not been good this year. I think Eflin on the mound is a big boost for them. They need a good start. They need to be put in a good position to possibly win a game, and I think he can do that. So give me the Orioles here at minus 175 as a significant lean. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Tigers 30-16 on the year, having a great season. Now, they did just lose their last game 2-1 there at Toronto in Game 2 of that series. It did take a game-winning hit in the 9th inning, so, they made it pretty competitive. We'll see if they can bounce back here, handing the ball to young Jackson Jobe, who's 3-0 this year, a 4.32 ERA. Now, not too many 22-year-olds have gotten off to 3-0 starts in the majors. He had a couple rough starts, struggling against Houston, struggling against Colorado, but got tons of run support in those games and didn't end up with a loss. we also see his last start, a nice bounce back. 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run allowed. Now, he did walk 5 against Boston while striking out 7, so he was making up for those mistakes, but you can't make that many mistakes. Eventually, you're going to get punished if you're giving lots of walks out in the major league. So we'll see if he can clean that up a little bit. He is a young starter that I am pretty high on. Now, the bullpen situation for Detroit, still looking solid. A 2.98 bullpen ERA is 5th best in the major leagues. And the offense for the Tigers is drastically improved. I know they're coming off a game where they only scored 1 run, but over the course of the year, it's been very, very good. I mean, they're 4th in the majors in runs scored. They're 5th in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 334 clip, and they're a top 5 slugging percentage team. Like, this is an excellent offense. Very little for me to say bad about the Tigers right now, if I'm being honest. Now, they're taking on the Toronto Blue Jays, who are fresh off that much-needed win. They're 22-23 on the year, handing the ball in this game to Jose Barrios, who's not having as good of a year this year as last season. He's 1-1, a 4.33 ERA. He's fresh off a pretty bad start against the light-hitting Tampa Bay Rays, where he went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 5 earned runs, including a home run. He's had a lot of control issues. He's walked 3, 5, 1, 2, and 4 hitters over his last 5 starts. Not great. So we'll see if he can bounce back a little bit. Now, the bullpen situation for Toronto, obviously, it's been worse, but maybe it's getting a little bit better, but they're currently a 3.88 bullpen ERA. That puts you in the bottom half of the majors. And the offense has also not been very good. They're currently 22nd in the MLB in runs scored. They are 16th in slugging percentage, 11th in batting average, so maybe they're not quite as bad as they've looked, but not an elite offensive team by my standards. So looking at these numbers, guys, we see the Tigers at plus 100, the Blue Jays at minus 118. We've got a total of 8.5. Detroit 13-10 on the road, 16-7 to the over on the road. Toronto 12-11 at home, 14-10 to the over at home. I'm not super interested in over 8.5, but since this is a Sunday, maybe you should consider taking over 8.5. Just because Sundays tend to be kind of opposite days. I also think this is a good spot to take the Tigers and Jackson Jobe, but this is a Sunday. It tends to be kind of an opposite day, so maybe you should side with the Blue Jays. I personally am going to be siding with the Tigers here at plus 100. I'm not going to guarantee this goes in the pinned comment, but it's got an outside chance. Next up, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians. They're going on the road here to take on the Cincinnati Reds. Now, the Guardians came through for us with a 4-1 loss. We were on the Reds there yesterday, so that win felt pretty good. The Guardians at 25-20 on the year, handing the ball in this game to Luis Ortiz, who's 2-4 this season, a 4.78 ERA. Now, he had a huge bounce back in his last game. He's kind of been alternating good and bad starts. He shut down the Phillies over 6 innings. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, only a single earned run. Unfortunately for him, we saw the Guardians lose that game 3-0 against the Phillies. So he did everything he could possibly be expected to do. The Cleveland bullpen, though, a little bit sketchy this year, guys. A 4.07 bullpen ERA clearly has them in the bottom half of the majors, and the offense is not designed to support that kind of pitching, guys. It's been a little bit rough. They're 19th in runs scored, but 23rd in on-base percentage and 23rd in batting average. They've scored 1, 4, 5, 2, 5, and 0 runs over their last few. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it with this pitching staff. So we'll see what they do here against the Reds, who are, going on another one of their little runs. They've won their last 3 in a row, scoring 4, 5, and 7 runs over those games. They're hitting the ball in this one to Andrew Abbott, who's been lights out this year. 2-0, a 2.10 ERA. He's fresh off a nice start there against the White Sox, and he hasn't given up more than one, or he's only given up 1 earned run over his last 4 starts. So pretty good stuff. He doesn't get tons of run support necessarily, but he's been really, really good out there, and I'm expecting another good outing from him. He has been excellent. This young 25-year-old left-hander, definitely somebody the Reds are excited for his future. And I'm sure they're very excited for what the bullpen's doing recently. They continue to get better and better over the course of the year. A 3.43 bullpen ERA is 7th, 8th, something like that in the major leagues this season. Now, offense has been a problem for the Reds, not over their last 3 games, but over the course of the year, it's been a little bit problematic. Now, their run scored numbers look great because they put up that 124-run game, but I would say they're more around average offensively. 17th in batting average, 13th in on-base percentage. I think that's more where this team is going to live, and that could be fine. Ellie De La Cruz turning things on. 8 home runs now, 31 RBIs, and he's batting .251. If he bats over .250, I think that's going to be fine for him. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So we'll see what he can do out there in this one. The odds makers like the Reds here a little bit. The Guardians are plus 114. The Reds are minus 125. We've got a total of 9. Cleveland, a 500 road team. They're 13-6-3 to the over on the road. Cincinnati, 11-12 at home. 13-8-2 to the under at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the under in terms of the total in this game. Bull starters definitely capable. At least one bullpen is good, and the Cleveland offense is pretty bad. But what that leads me to even more, guys, is I like the Reds here at minus 125 with Abbott on the mound, especially Ortiz. If he continues to alternate good and bad starts, I think this is time for a bad one. And, pitching at the Great American Ballpark can be a little bit tough. And his last road start was a disaster against the Nationals. So definitely give me the Reds here at minus 125. Rapid fire through these games, guys. We are looking at the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road, taking the Miami Marlins. The Rays came away with a 4-0 bounce back win after losing game 1 of this series. They win 4-0 in game 2. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Shane Baz, who's 3-2 this year, a 5.02 ERA. Now, this young guy has had some very good starts and some very bad starts this year. He's coming off of a pretty middle-of-the-road start, actually, going up against Toronto. 4-2 their innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, gave up a couple home runs. And his, tough luck kind of continues. He's actually had pretty bad starts in 4 out of his last 5 outings. We do see Tampa Bay is 3-2 over those 5 starts, but that hasn't really all been his fault. Some credit has to go for this bullpen that's been decent this year. It's sliding a little bit, up to a 3.50 bullpen ERA, but it hasn't been terrible. So definitely giving some credit to the bullpen there. The offense has been a big part of the problems for this team. I mean, Arenado hitting the ball well, but they're 23rd in the majors in runs scored, 15th in batting average, but 24th in slugging percentage. Like, just not what I would term as an elite level offensive team. Not really anywhere close to that, if I'm being honest. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Marlins, who are fresh off that 4-0 loss. They're only 17 and 27 on the year. They're giving the ball in this game to Cal Quantrill, who's 2-4 this season, a 7.00 ERA. He's fresh off of a 4 1/3 innings outing there against the Cubs. Gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, and a home run in that one. And yeah, a big fall off after a shockingly good outing there against the Dodgers. But I'm not really expecting miracles from this guy. He's been pretty bad this season, and the Marlins bullpen has been pretty bad as well. A 4.69 bullpen ERA. Not a lot of great pitching coming out of Miami at the moment. Now, the offense for the Marlins has some interesting guys. I mean, Kyle Stowers is a monster, batting over 300, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs this season. Very, very good stuff. But despite that, they're still 18th in the majors in runs scored, 17th in slugging percentage. Can't really crack that, average range. They're just not a very good offensive team. So we'll see how many runs they can come up with in this one. Now, the odds makers have the Marlins as pretty big underdogs. They're plus 130. The Rays are minus 155. We've got a total of 8.5 in this one. Tampa Bay 9-7 on the road and 9-7 to the under on the road. Miami 11-12 at home, 14-9 to the over at home. I think over 8.5 is probably a little bit live in this game. I could see either one of these guys kind of imploding and giving up a lot of runs. It makes it very tough to figure out the side here. I'm not going to be backing Shane Baz as the way he's been looking recently as a minus 155 favorite. So I suppose giving the Marlins a plus 130, but not a game where I'm seeing tons of value. Cruising right along, guys, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Twins' winning streak continues. It is up to 13 games in a row. They won 7-0. They haven't allowed a run from the Brewers in the first 2 games of this series. They're going to hand the ball here to Zebby Matthews, a young 24-year-old who's going to be making his first start of the season. So we'll see what we get out of him coming out of the minor leagues. That's always a very sketchy situation. But Minnesota has survived some very sketchy situations during this winning streak, so maybe they just keep on doing that. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the bullpen for the Twins has been very good here, especially during this hot stretch, guys, all the way down to a 2.93 bullpen ERA. Their offense has also been firing on all cylinders. They actually haven't allowed a run over 3 games, guys. 7-0, 3-0, and 4-0 over their last 3. Pretty wild stuff. Now, offensively, over the course of the year, they're a little bit below average, but they've been finding a way to produce runs recently and overcome the fact they're in the 20s in terms of batting average and slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can get up to here against the Brewers, who have to be desperate for a win. They lost 4 out of 5. They're all the way down to 21-25 on the year. They've fallen all the way to 4th in the NL Central. They're giving the ball here to Freddie Peralta, who's, kind of supposed to be their ace, guys, although this Milwaukee pitching staff, ace seems like a bit strong, but he's 4-3 on the year, a 2.66 ERA. He's given up 4 runs, though, in his last time out at Cleveland, guys. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 4, and a 5-0 loss. So not amazing, obviously, but he's had some very good starts this year. That was, that start was after shutting out the Cubs over 6 innings. So we'll see what version of Freddie Peralta we get in this one. The version of the Brewers bullpen I expect to see is just bad. A 4.59 bullpen ERA. Nothing really to be super stoked about there. And the offense has fallen off a cliff, obviously getting shut out back-to-back games. They've scored 0, 0, 9, 0, 0, and 4 runs over their last few. That is bleak, guys. That is absolutely bleak. They're 15th in the majors in runs scored. They are 21st in on-base percentage. This is not a great offensive team. So I'm a little bit shocked to see where the numbers are at. I guess given the fact we're starting a minor league pitcher there for the Twins has a lot to do with it, but Minnesota's plus 135. The Brewers are minus 155. We've got a total out there of 8 or 7.5. Minnesota 10-14 on the road, 13-9-2 to the under on the road. Milwaukee 12-8 at home, 12-7-1 to the under at home. So you could definitely talk me into under 8 in this game, but the fact that the odds makers think this is going to be low scoring means they think Zebby Matthews is going to have a good outing. And if he has a good outing, I think the Twins win this game. Now, this could be one where you totally just go the opposite and take the Brewers because this is a Sunday game and upsets happen on Sundays, but I'm more leaning towards the Twins here at plus 135. Matthews has done some good stuff. There's a reason they brought him up, but it's a little bit too sketchy for me to put in the pinned comment. Speaking of red hot teams, guys, we are looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. Now, the Cardinals have now won 3 in a row after a lengthy winning streak. They're right back on another winning streak, winning 1-0 yesterday. So smash that like button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing that Cardinals pick yesterday. Yeah, Walker hitting that home run, Michaelis pitching extremely well once again. The Cardinals come away with another win. They are 26-20 on the year. They're only, one game? Yeah, one game back of the Cubs for the top spot there in the NL Central. They're giving the ball in this one to Matthew Liberatore, who's 3-3 this year, a 3.11 ERA. He's been a big part of this success recently, guys. Over his last 5 starts, he's never given up more than 2 earned runs. The Cardinals are only 3-2 over those starts, but he's been very good, except for that one weird 3-inning start there against the Reds. I can't remember. That one was maybe weather shortened. I can't remember 100% for sure. But regardless, he's been very, very good, putting his team in position to win, even against good teams like the Phillies and the Mets. So, expecting good stuff from him here against the Royals, not exactly an offensive juggernaut. The Cardinals' bullpen's been excellent over this streak, going from one of the worst in the majors all the way down to a 3.82 bullpen ERA, which is slightly above average. The Cardinals' offense has really been good. Obviously, they're coming off a game where they only scored 1 run, so I'm not going to throw them a parade, but they've scored 1, 10, 14, 1, 3, and 6 runs over their last few. Brendan Donovan doing his thing. Jordan Walker obviously coming up with that home run. They're 7th in the majors in runs scored, 2nd in the MLB, batting at .264 as a team. They're a top 3 on base percentage team and a top 10 power team, a top 10 slugging percentage team. So a lot of positives here for what was supposed to be a terrible season from the Cardinals in the first 46 games. They're looking pretty darn good. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Royals, who are now on a 4-game winning streak and have lost 6 of 7. They're going to be giving the ball in this one to Michael Wacha, who's 3-4 on the year. This ex-Cardinal sporting a 2.96 ERA. He's coming off a interesting start against Houston. He had to pitch out of trouble a lot. 6 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs. He struck out 3 and walked 2. So maybe a little bit of luck on his side in that start, but it didn't take luck there against the White Sox where he mowed them down back on the 7th, guys. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 5, and walked 1. Over his last 5 starts, he's been very, very good. So definitely expecting good stuff from Wacha in this game. He's been really good. I don't think there's any reason to expect anything different. Now, the Royals' bullpen has also been excellent this year, a 3.28 bullpen ERA. Now, the problem confronting this team is their complete lack of offense. It's been really, really bad this year. I mean, they've scored 0, 3, 3, 1, 7, 1, and 1 runs over their last few. Bobby Witt Jr. is barely batting over 300. Nobody's putting up great power numbers. They're 27th in the majors in runs scored. They're 26th in on base percentage. This is not a good offense. And they've had a big enough sample size. Like, if they were going to be good, I feel like we would know about it. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Cardinals are minus 105. The Royals are minus 115. We've got a total of 8.5. The Cardinals, 10-14 on the road. They're 13-10-1 to the over on the road. The Royals, 16-8 at home. 15-9 to the under at home. I think I like the under better than the side in this game. So I'll be leaning towards under 8.5. Now, taking unders on Sunday games can be a little bit scary, but taking anything on Sundays can be scary, guys. I'll be real honest with you. So we're a little bit concerned there, but I also could be talked into the Cardinals to just straight up win this game once again, taking them minus 105. I mean, Liberatore has been very good. Wacha, though, maybe a little bit of inside knowledge against his old team, although there's been so much roster turnover, maybe that doesn't even matter at this point. So give me the under as my main play here. Next up, guys, we got another rivalry game, and we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. Now, I know, we've been taking the White Sox here, not even taking the White Sox, leaning towards the White Sox here, and it has not worked out. I mean, they've lost 13-3 and 7-3, but I swear, guys, I will be shocked if they end up not getting a single win in this series. It's obviously not impossible that wouldn't happen. I mean, they're hitting the ball to Jonathan Cannon in this game. He's 2-4, a 3.60 ERA. His last 3 starts have all been very serviceable, and especially his last time out, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, no walks, 6 strikeouts there at the Cincinnati Reds. So he could be in for a decent start here against the Cubs. It's definitely not impossible. The bullpen for the White Sox has not been as bad this year as it was last year, but it's still pretty bad. A 4.60 bullpen ERA, and a bigger problem has been their lack of offense. They've scored 3, 3, 1, 4, and 5 runs over their last few games. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored. They are 28th in the majors in batting average, batting .217 as a team. So not a fun team to back, I'll be honest with you. So we'll see what they do here against their crosstown rivals, the Cubs, who've won 4 out of 5. They're 27-19 on the year, handing the ball in this game to Colin Ray, who's been pretty darn good. 3-0, a 2.48 ERA. He's fresh off giving up 2 earned runs over 6 2/3 against the Marlins, so not an amazing start. And he did get shelled by the Giants back on the 6th, so he hasn't been having his best stuff recently, but he's been fine, and it seems like that would be a kind of tough guy to fade. Now, I'm pretty okay with fading the Cubs bullpen. A 4.40 bullpen ERA leaves an awful lot of room for improvement, so we'll see if that turns around at any point. It's maybe getting slightly better, but the real strength of this team is their offense. They've scored 17, 13, 1, 5, 5, 2, and 6 runs over their last few. They are second in the majors in runs scored. They are 10th in batting average, but also top 10 in on-base percentage and slugging percentage. This is a pretty scary offense, guys, and that's a big part of why they are 3-1 favorites in this game. White Sox plus 240, Cubs minus 300. We've got a total of 8. The White Sox 5-19 on the road, 15-9 to the under on the road. Chicago 13-8 at home, 13-7-2 to the over at home. I'm going to lean towards the over as my main play in this game. Like I said, I kind of felt like the White Sox were going to win a game in this series. They're plus 240 here. I can't stomach being on that side again, though. So I'm going to stay away from the side in this one in general and just go ahead and take that over, which I think is some pretty solid value based on what we've seen the first 2 games of this series. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Athletics going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Athletics 22-24 on the year. They've actually lost 4 in a row. They've still been having a better season than I would have guessed. Now, they lost 1-0 in their last game. They're hitting the ball in this one to Jeffrey Spriggs, who's 5-3, a 4.27 ERA. He's coming off an excellent start there at the Dodgers. 7 innings, 6 hits, only a single earned run allowed, and an 11-1 win there for the A's. So good stuff. We'll see if he can come up with something similar here against the Giants. Might not be, any time. I mean, you're going up against the Dodgers and you do so well. You should do well against the Giants, but that's not always how that works, as I'm sure you all know. Now, the bullpen situation for the Athletics has been horrible. A 5.88 bullpen ERA puts them in the bottom 3, one of the worst bullpens in the majors. And while the offense has been excellent, it hasn't been excellent recently. They've scored 0, 1, 2, and 3 runs over their last few games. Obviously, they've got some monsters out there in Rooker, Soderson, but 13th in the majors in runs scored and 7th in batting average is not what this team is looking like at the moment. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them. It is Sunday. That's the kind of day bounce backs tend to happen. They're taking on the Giants here, who are 27-19 on the year. They just won the first 2 games of the series relatively handily. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Justin Verlander, though. He's 0-3, a 4.31 ERA. He's looked a little bit better recently, I suppose, but his last time out, I guess he kept things under control against the Diamondbacks. 6 innings, gave up 9 hits, only 2 earned runs. They were both solo home runs. He walked 1 and struck out 5 against, obviously one of the best offenses in the majors, and he's been pretty good over his last 5 starts. I got to give him credit. This 1,000-year-old man is still going out there and throwing the ball pretty darn well. So maybe he'll be fine. Obviously, the bullpen for the Giants will be fine. They're the best in the majors, a 2.66 bullpen ERA. The offense, though, are we really going to get super jazzed up about this team at the plate? They're 20th in batting average, 16th in on-base percentage. They're coming up with more runs than they deserve right now. Obviously, fresh off a game, they only scored 1, so we'll see what they do against Jeffrey Spriggs, who's not terrible, but they are going to get some at-bats against that A's bullpen, which is kind of a dumpster fire. So looking at the numbers here, the Athletics are plus 124, the Giants are minus 137. We've got a total of 8.5. The Athletics 14-10 on the road, 10-4 to the over-under on the road. San Francisco 14-7 at home, 11-10 to the under at home. I don't have a big play there on the total of 8.5. I would lean maybe just a bit towards the Giants here at home at minus 137, just based on how bad the Athletics are swinging the bats right now. But this is Sunday, guys. This one could definitely go the opposite way. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. Now, their current game 2 of this series, is still going on, and it's looking crazy. The Angels are now up 9-7 in the top of the 7th inning. 2 outs, though, so we'll see how that one ends, but it is getting pretty nuts. The Angels won game 1 of this series. They're hitting the ball in game 3 to Yusei Kikuchi, who is 0-4 this year, but a 3.72 ERA, not the end of the world. He's coming off a mediocre start against the Padres, but has had some very good starts recently, even a great start against the Tigers, a pretty tough team to pitch against. So we'll see what Kikuchi does. Obviously, the Angels bullpen has been terrible, but the offense is turning things on recently, guys. I mean, obviously coming up with 9 runs in their current game and still threatening. Over the course of the year, they've been a terrible offense team, last in on base percentage, second to last in batting average, but seems like they're digging deep and finding something here in this rivalry matchup. So we'll see what they come up with here in game 3 of this series. They're going to be hitting the ball in this game to the Dodgers are going to be hitting the ball to Tony Gonsolin. We'll see what he does. He's 2-0, a 2.81 ERA. This is only his 4th start of the year. His first 2 are against the Marlins, so we're discounting those at least a little bit. His last one was against the Diamondbacks, a dangerous offensive team. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits and no runs while striking out 4 and walking 2, in an 8-1 win for the Dodgers. So pretty good stuff. We'll see what he does against the Angels. Now, they could be in something of desperation mode here if they lose their current game, but the bullpen situation for the Dodgers has been problematic. A 3.73 bullpen ERA, a number that's getting higher and higher. Now, the offense has been good. Don't get me wrong, but they're missing some guys. I mean, Hernandez being out is not great. They're still first in runs scored and first in batting average, but they may be tailing off here a little bit. And those numbers are a little bit overinflated by games where they put up like 19 runs against the Athletics, for example. So we'll see what they do here in game 3 against the Angels. The odds makers love the Dodgers here. They're minus 250. The Angels are plus 200. We've got a total of 9. The Angels 9-15 on the road, 13-11 on the road, 13-11 to the over on the road. The Dodgers 17-5 at home, 14-8 to the over at home. I think over 9 is extremely live in this game. That's a lot of runs. I know it, but we're seeing tons of offense so far in the series. The bullpens are pretty much blown through at this point. So, yeah, not going to be the best arms out there, and these hitters seem pretty locked in. In terms of a side, I mean, I don't know. It feels like you almost have to lean towards the Angels at plus 200, but I really think the over is where the value is. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Rockies and Diamondbacks, that game just ended with the Rockies somehow getting the huge come-from-behind 14-12 win to ruin our perfect 6-0 day. So we end up going 5-1. We're not going to cry about that, guys. A nice, profitable day. Now, the Rockies going to be hitting the ball in this one to Chase Dollander, who's 2-4 this year, a 6.88 ERA. He's coming off one of his best starts of the season, shutting down the Rangers. Now you get a shot at trying to shut down the Dodgers. That's going to be, or the Diamondbacks. That's going to be a little bit different of a situation. Now, this young guy's done some good stuff, but also some pretty bad stuff this year. So we'll see what he gets up to. The Rockies bullpen, obviously not very good. Not as bad as last year, a 4.17 bullpen ERA. The offense has been horrifyingly bad this year, except for somehow coming up with 14 runs there yesterday. They're 30th in the majors in runs scored, 29th in on base percentage. Not a good offense. Not expecting them to have back-to-back insane days. They're going to be taking on the Diamondbacks here, who have to be feeling real dumb about themselves losing that game somehow. Now, they're going to be hitting the ball to Merrill Kelly, who's 4-2 this season, a 3.71 ERA. He's fresh off a 7-inning, 8-hit, 1-run outing there at the San Francisco Giants, where he was very, very good. Struck out 8, walked 0. He actually hasn't walked a batter in his last 3 starts. So very, very good stuff there. The problem for Arizona is their terrible bullpen. A 5.05 bullpen ERA is real bad, real bad. The offense has been excellent this year. No shocker there. It's a very talented offensive team. They're 5th in runs scored and 5th in on-base percentage, but if you can't stop the Rockies from putting up 14 runs on you, you're going to have a hard time winning. So looking at the numbers, no shocker here. The Rockies plus 280, the Diamondbacks minus 345. We got totals of 9.5 or 9. Colorado 2-21 on the road. I guess 3-21 on the road now. That's an MLB worst record on the road. They're 16-7 to the under on the road. Arizona 12-12 at home, 13-8-2 to the over at home. This is another weird one, guys. I mean, I don't even know which way to look here. I guess you got to take the Diamondbacks thinking they'll bounce back and put up some sort of monster performance, but does that feel good? Like, after what we saw yesterday? So, yeah, give me the Diamondbacks here, but, I mean, I'm not putting a minus 345 favorite into anything, and the total doesn't appeal to me either. Rolling right along, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. The Mariners, 25-19 on the year, have won the first 2 games of this series in pretty dominant fashion, 4-1 and 5-1 respectively. Now, they're hitting the ball in this game to Brian Wu, who's been excellent this year, 4-1, a 2.84 ERA. He's fresh off a very good start against the Yankees. 6 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 6 and walked 0. So a nice bounce back after a bad start at the Athletics. So we'll see what he can do here at the Padres. In general, he's thrown the ball pretty well on the road, so I'm not too worried about Wu. The bullpen situation for Seattle isn't as great as it was last year, but a 3.61 bullpen ERA, definitely not the end of the world. The offense is drastic, incredibly night and day different than last year. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored. They're a top 10 on base percentage team and a top 10 slugging percentage team. Like, this is absolutely an excellent offensive team. So no complaints there. They're taking on a Padres team that's now lost 4 out of their last 6. they're hitting the ball to Michael King, who's 4-1 this year, a 2.32 ERA. He's been very good. Hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of his last 5 starts. His last time out didn't look great against the Angels. 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them were earned. So we'll see if he can have a little bit of a bounce back here against the Mariners, who not a cupcake team to face if you're a pitcher, that's for sure. So looking at the Padres bullpen, they've been good as well, but sliding a bit, a 3.11 bullpen ERA, not as good as they were early in the year. The offense is finding some problems, guys. They've scored 2 runs total over the first 2 games of this season, or this series. They're good this year, 13th in runs scored, 3rd in batting percentage, and 7th in on-base percentage, but lately, it's been a bit of a struggle, so we'll see what they can get after here against another very good pitcher. It could be a little bit rough. So looking at the numbers, the Mariners are plus 120. The Padres are minus 140. We've got a total of 7.5. Seattle 11-8 on the road, 12-7 to the over on the road. The Padres 16-6 at home, 13-8-1 to the under at home. Well, I'm not taking under 7.5, but I definitely have to consider the Mariners here at plus 120 is a very reasonable play. Wu on the mound is very good. Now, obviously, Michael King on the mound is a tough spot to go up against, so we could see an under in this game. I don't think that's impossible, but I'm not going to be backing that on a crazy, crazy Sunday. Just give me a little lean towards the Mariners and generally just proceed with caution. In our last MLB game on the slate before we hop over and look at that one NBA playoff game, we're looking at Sunday Night Baseball, the New York Mets taking on the New York Yankees. Now, the Mets bounced back, got the 3-2 win there early in the day yesterday. Pretty good stuff. Lindor's 9th inning sacrifice fly ends up getting them the win. Another quiet day for Soto. He's not exactly having a great time back at his old stomping grounds. The Mets hitting the ball in this one to David Peterson. He's 2-2, a 3.05 ERA. Fresh off a good, maybe not completely dominant start against Pittsburgh, but he's been very good this season in general. So feeling good about him. Feeling pretty great about that Mets bullpen. A 2.93 bullpen ERA is 3rd best in the majors. And the offense, while they're not coming off a banner day necessarily, didn't manage to put up enough runs to win, but they've been sliding recently, down to 11th in the majors in runs scored, 12th in batting average, so a little bit concerning, especially when, the guy who's supposed to be your best hitter is not having a great time. So we'll see what they do here against the Yankees, who are 26-19 on the year. They're fresh off that 3-2 loss. They are handing the ball in this one to Max Fried, who's 6-0 this year, a 1.11 ERA. He's fresh off an excellent start there against the Mariners, 5 innings, 4 hits, only a single earned run allowed. Unfortunately for him, the Yankees took the 2-1 loss, but other than that, I'm pretty sure the Yankees are undefeated with him. Yeah, the Yankees are undefeated with him on the mound this season. So Max Fried's been an absolute monster. A great chance for him to get his team back on the right track. Now, the Yankees bullpen, not a problem. A 3.43 bullpen ERA. That will certainly work. And the offense, Aaron Judge still batting over 400, 15 home runs, 41 RBIs is bonkers. They're the 3rd highest scoring team in the majors. They're 1st in on-base percentage and 2nd in slugging percentage. The Yankees are absolutely killing it at the plate. So looking at the numbers here, I'm a little bit surprised. The Mets are plus 142. The Yankees are minus 170. We've got a total of 8.5. The Mets 12-12 on the road, 14-9-1 to the under on the road. The Yankees 14-9 at home, 13-10 to the under at home. You could talk me into under 8.5, I think. I don't think that's crazy, but I'd way rather just go ahead and take the Yankees here at minus 170. And with Max Fried on the mound, I'd be lying if I said this didn't have an excellent chance to be our massive lock of the day, because I just don't see the Yankees losing back-to-back games here, and I don't see them losing back-to-back games with Max Fried on the mound. Now, guys, let's hop over and look at our one lone NBA playoff game of the night. We're looking at the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 7 here with a trip to the Western Conference Finals on the line. Now, there's been some pretty unfortunate developments for the Nuggets coming into this game. We see Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook, and Aaron Gordon all on the injury report there for the Nuggets, who came away with a very, very nice, win there to force this Game 7, winning 119-107 at home behind a monster game from Jokic. We also saw big contributions in that game, not from Aaron Gordon necessarily, but definitely from Jamal Murray. 15 points from Julian Strawther. That was pretty much the Strawther game. He had an insane run there for a minute. But yeah, the Nuggets very concerned about Murray. He's probable. Sounds like he's going to be fine. He's been dealing with an illness. He's going to be out there. Westbrook also probable with a right hand sprain, but Aaron Gordon officially listed as questionable with a hamstring issue. That could definitely keep him out of this game, or even if he plays, he might not be as effective, and they need him at 105% if they're going to win this game. So concerning stuff there for the Nuggets. Now, the Thunder, they come into this game fully healthy. They are probably a little bit irritated with how poorly they shot the ball in game 6 there. Also, Jalen Williams, once again, coming up very, very small in a huge, huge playoff spot. So a couple pretty big concerns. Now, good contributions from Caruso, good contributions from Carson Wallace off the bench, but as a team, it's going to be really hard to beat Jokic if you only shoot 11 of 40 from 3. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys. We see the Thunder are still 8-point favorites. We got a total of 213.5. Denver's a 500 against the spread team on the road this year. They're also a big over team. Oklahoma City, 30-14-2 against the spread at home. That's an NBA best against the spread mark at home. They are 49-42-2 to the over. Guys, if it looks like Aaron Gordon's really not going to play in this game, we might have to consider taking the Thunder here at -8. But in a game 7, a young, inexperienced Oklahoma City Thunder team, despite the fact they're playing at home, I just have to back the Nuggets here getting points. I feel like Jokic is going to find a way to make this a very close, probably one possession game down the stretch. So give me a look there at the Nuggets and the points. I'll also lean slightly towards the over, but I've got some player props that I like a lot more than the side or the total here. And first up, I'll take the under on Jalen Williams, under 19.5 points. He's young. He's had some very good games in the playoffs this season, maybe 1 or 2, but overall he's struggled in the biggest moments of his career. It doesn't get any bigger here than a game 7. I think the nerves are going to get to him. I think we see him have a pretty mediocre night. And getting all the way to 20 points in a game 7, not going to be easy. I also like Caruso here, over 8.5 points. He's a champion and a veteran that's been in these kinds of situations before. I don't think we'll see him struggle or have any problems in a game 7, and the Thunder need his scoring and his insane defensive intensity. So I think we see him get to 9 or 10 points pretty comfortably. And last but not least, guys, I'll take the under on Dort's 3-pointers made, under 2.5. He had 2 in game 6, and while he's capable of making more, I don't think we see him have a great time in this one. Nerves clearly impacted him there in game 6. They're clearly going to impact him here in game 7. I'm not expecting him to come out and shoot it well. Despite being at home, I think we're going to see a pretty tough shooting night out there from Dort. And even if he knocks down a couple, we can still cash this bet. That's all the games we have for you today on this Monster Sunday video, guys. Slam that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Get over to stumpthespread.com. Sign up for that free email list. It's great, free value, straight to your inbox. It can only help you. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com. Make sure you're signing up for a channel membership if you're interested in getting in on those giveaways. And we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.